name is Jennifer Brown. I'm the Manager of Public Information for the City of Dallas Communications Outreach and Marketing Department. I appreciate everyone taking time out of their day in order to provide updates on our city services today and for our media contacts to be able to ask any follow-up questions. We will start with the departmental updates. So I will go down the line and call on the department for you to provide that information. And then we will conclude with the inquiries from the media. Thank you so much. I will start actually by introducing my colleague, Adriana, so that she can let us know about translations available here, interpretation available for today's meeting.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hello, everybody. I'd like to let you know that we do have simultaneous Spanish interpretation that is available for this press conference. You can listen to the audio of our interpreter by clicking on the globe on the left-hand side of the screen and selecting the Spanish channel. There are also English and multilingual closed captioning available by clicking on the button with the letters CC. Hola, bienvenidos. Tenemos interpretación simultánea en español disponible para esta rueda de prensa. Puedes escuchar el audio de nuestro intérprete haciendo clic en el globo del lado izquierda de la pantalla y seleccionando el canal en español. También hay subtítulos en inglés y multilingües disponible haciendo clic en el botón con las letras CC. Gracias.
Thank you so much, Adriana. All right, well, we will start with the Office of Emergency Management.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Travis Houston, Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator with the City of Dallas Office of Emergency Management. No real major updates from OEM side, although we are still activated in the Emergency Operations Center and will be through this evening. We should be done with the activation by this evening as conditions are widely improving, although we are still coordinating and supporting with all of our partners and remaining in close communication with our external partners like Encore and Atmos, who are out responding to outages. And that's all I have for the update. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Travis. Next, we will move on to the Office of Homeless Solutions, please.
Good afternoon. This is Christine Crosley, Director, Office of Homeless Solutions. We are continuing to shelter people across 5 shelters. With tonight, we anticipate being the last night we will hit our triggers. Those shelters are the Austin Street Shelter, which has roughly 290 people at it, Oaklawn United Methodist, which has 72 people, Warren United Methodist, 52 people, the Central Library has 215, and Reverchon Rec Center has 86. It might be a little higher at this point. All of those are near or at capacity. Both Warren and Oaklawn United Methodist churches continue to be at capacity. The Dallas connector that's doing transportation to pick people up and take them to shelter as needed is still running. It has been running this whole time, and is taking people as needed to the additional locations being Austin Street and Reverchon. If those reach capacity before the end of the day, we don't expect that will happen, but if they do, we do have some contingency plans if they are needed. Again, we don't expect that to be needed. The main thing that we are needing at this point is volunteers for Oaklawn United Methodist and Warren United Methodist, specifically for their overnight hours to get us through this last night. There is actually a blog post on the OHS website, which is DallasHomelessSolutions.com. And if you go to the Keep Up with OHS Boots on the Grounds, there is a temporary inclement weather January-February shelter post called Volunteers Needed. Volunteers should not go straight to the churches, but there are 2 sign-up sheets on that blog post that we can get shared with everybody. And that is the main ask for right now, is for volunteers. And I think that is it.
Thank you so much, Director Crosley. And next we will hear from Dallas Fire and Rescue, please. Do we have anyone on the line from Dallas Fire and Rescue? All right, if so, we'll come back to you. Thank you. And how about code compliance services? Any representatives? Yes. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Eric Oner-Trefler, Public Information Coordinator for the City of Dallas Code Compliance Services. I believe Ariel Garcia, our Code Administrator, and Theo Rhodes, another manager for our multi-tenant single-family teams, are on the line as well to answer questions. Right now, throughout the weather event, we've received 44 complaints from units at different apartment complexes in the City of Dallas. Overnight, we had 3 complaints, so our team has been working tirelessly to address those. I believe most of those concerns have been resolved. Our team have been out in boots on the ground in the streets, talking to residents, making sure that if they have any concerns at their apartment complexes, to voice those concerns to 311, so our inspectors will be able to see that. We'll also be educating residents about that as well as the weather gets better and more issues may arise. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric, for that update. All right, next we will check in with Public Works, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ali Hatifi, I'm the Director of Public Works. As the temperature is rising and the mixture of sand and ice is on the street, the condition of the streets are improving very significantly as compared to the past couple of days. I was actually driving around this morning and most of the roads are passable. As of 12 p.m. today, we have shut the full operation of the sand and icing operation that we had. We're still monitoring the roadway tonight and also addressing any call that we're going to receive from 311. We managed to address or provide sanding operation for more than 290 bridges and 4,300 of lane miles of the streets. We had full-time crews, 24-hour shift, working around the clock to make sure that the roads are in the safe condition. But we're happy that we're seeing improvement. We should be out of this by tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you. That's it for Public Works.
Thank you for the update and the good news there. Moving on to transportation.
Hi, this is Molly Carroll with the Transportation Department. We've had very minimal impact to our traffic signals. As of noon, we had 2 signals on flash and 4 have communication failures, and we have 1 that staff is working on that got knocked down in a wreck. So other than that, we're monitoring and responding as needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. And we have an update from Dallas Water Utilities.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Eduardo Valeria, Assistant Director with Dallas Water Utilities. As Public Works mentioned, we're happy to report that road conditions are improving and we are adjusting our sanding operations from our end. We are increasing our scouting crews to monitor road conditions in the next few hours, and then we'll be providing support, responding to 311 calls as needed. As weather conditions improve, we're going to transition our crews from the sanding operations to cleaning drain lines, providing inspection, maintenance, repairs as weather conditions improve. On the water and wastewater treatment plants, all of our operations are working as expected. The water distribution, wastewater collection systems are working properly. We still keep our emergency crews on standby to respond to any maintenance repairs as conditions improve. So at this point, that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. And court and detention services.
Yes, this is Gregory Nelson, Assistant Director of Court and Detention Services. We have no updates at the time. However, I will pass it to Marshall Hughes if he has any updates. I don't think Marshall Hughes is on the line, so you can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nelson. And 311.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Daisy Fast, Director of 311. I don't have a lot of updates either. We're still taking phone calls with no hold time. The call volume is still relatively low. We're just gearing up for the next couple of days, expecting more calls to assist with the burst pipes. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Dallas Animal Services.
Oops, hold on one second. My video is starting. So I'm Marlo Klingman with Dallas Animal Services. I'm the Public Information Coordinator. So far, we've still been responding 24/7 to calls coming in. As of this morning, since the January 29th, we have received 232 calls just about pets left out in the cold. And that's out of 736 calls total. We are catching up to that log, and we are getting those calls closed out as quickly as possible.
Appreciate that, Marlo. Thank you. Aviation.
Good afternoon, Patrick Reno, Interim Director of Aviation. We are in recovery mode. The airport is fully operational and the airlines are getting back to normal schedules. We have about over 30 cancellations today, and we expect the normal operations tomorrow.
Thank you, Patrick. And do we have an update from sanitation, please?
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Cliff Gillespie, Assistant Director of Sanitation. Garbage and recycle collections were suspended again today, but we are expecting to restart our operations tomorrow morning, possibly with a delayed report and start time, depending on street conditions. We will be working in Friday collection areas tomorrow. It's possible that we won't be able to get to all customers in those areas with lingering ice, particularly those serviced in alleyways with unimproved surfaces. For those customers in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday collection areas that sanitation was unable to service this week, those customers may set out additional garbage and recyclable materials on their next collection day next week. We ask that those bagged garbage or bundled recyclables that will not fit in roll carts be placed on top of or next to the containers for collection. I also want to communicate that McComas Bluff Landfill and the city's 3 transfer stations are anticipated to resume regular hours tomorrow. And as a reminder, disposal at these facilities is free for Dallas residents, subject to reasonable limits, which can be found on our website at dallas.gov/sanitation. That website is also where residents can sign up for future service advisories delivered by email or text message. And residents can also download the Dallas Sanitation app for iPhone and Android to stay up to date with us. That's all I have to report. Thanks so much.
Thank you for that update. And how about Park and Recreation?
Good afternoon, Steve Baker, Superintendent with the department. We anticipate opening all of our recreation centers again tomorrow for normal operation hours, with the exception of River Shun Recreation Center that's still currently being activated as a shelter. So we will, once that building is back online, we'll be sure to communicate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Are there any departments that I have not called on that have an update they would like to provide now?
Joe Goodice from the Dallas Public Library.
Yes.
All of the Dallas Public Library locations will be operating on a delayed start tomorrow. We're going to open at 12 noon, give staff time to get in. The Central Library is still operating as an inclement weather shelter, so we're welcoming guests all day today. And then for tonight, they will have to register. So, and we are limited to the 215 that are with us right now. So we are not taking guests for overnight tonight. And that's all I got.
I appreciate the update. Any other departments that have a report to provide? Okay, at this time then, we will go down the list of the media contacts that have registered, and offer one question, and then go through a second round to ensure that all questions are answered. I would like to start with community impact. Do we have someone on the line from community impact?
Yeah, no questions. Thank you.
Thank you. How about WBAP? Okay, Spectrum News. Do we have a question from Spectrum News? How about KRLD? The Associated Press? Dallas Morning News.
Hey, it's Everton Bailey with the Dallas Morning News. My question's for code enforcement. I was wondering if you guys can elaborate on the, I think you said 44 complaints that you've received. Is that all for no heat and water? And also, I was wondering if any citations have been issued to landlords because of apartment conditions.
Good afternoon. I'm Theopolis Rose with Code Compliance, and yes, I can answer that question for you. Those 44 calls that we've had generated and routed to our unit have been throughout the city of Dallas. The majority of them have been for our multi-family division. And fortunately, we have made contact with the complaints that we've received thus far, and no citations have been issued.
Thank you. The quick follow-up, does that mean that the apartments currently have heat and water, or just trying to get a better idea of why no citations have been issued, or how these issues have been resolved?
For the majority of the complaints that we've received thus far, management or ownership at the property have been responsive at getting those issues resolved. Some of the complaints that we have received as it relates to emergencies have been no heat, no hot water. And of course, with management, they've responded within a reasonable time frame for those concerns and gotten those issues resolved. Of course, we've received some this morning, and staff is working on those, but no, we have not needed to issue any citations as of yet.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Next, we will go to KERA.
No questions from KERA. Thank you.
WFAA. NBC. CBS. And any questions from Fox 4? Any questions from any of the media contacts here before we conclude for today?
Hello, this is Damon Fernandez from WFAA.
Yes.
I have a quick question about neighborhood road conditions. Understand that Public Works and Water Department are putting sand solution in some residential areas. Has brining been an option that the city's used during this weather event? If not, what was the reason why?
Thank you for the question, Ali Hatzifi, Director of Public Works. I have actually mentioned this in the other press conference that we had. The brine, we haven't implemented that. We are in the process of implementing the brine solution. We have ordered some equipment due to the supply chain issue. We haven't received it yet to basically apply for this winter or this freezing event. Hopefully for the next one, we're better equipped to use the brine solution. And then we can evaluate for the local street to see if we are able to address those also.
And can I have a quick follow-up? If there are some neighbors who have impassable streets where they haven't seen a sand truck, what's your best advice to them right now?
The best advice is to call 311 if there is any emergency situation that they want to get out and they have to drive. We're going to address any emergency call that we receive, regardless if that's a local street or that's major highway, major roads or stuff like that. So that's the best approach, to call 311 that they're gonna let us know that we can address.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for your question. Any other questions for today?
Yeah, this is Clayton Neville with WBAP, and this may be for OEM or anybody that can answer. It seems as if there's been more of these kind of events in the last few years. It also seems as if, especially based on today's press conference, things have gone smoother. Has the city's ability to respond to these kind of events improved in recent years? And if so, why? How?
This is Travis Houston, Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator with Office of Emergency Management. I think a big part of it is that you're right. We have had a lot of these, and every time, we get better. There's no one of these events of any type of large natural hazard events where something doesn't go quite right or there isn't something that you would change. But I think every time you take those lessons learned, you do your best to identify what those corrective actions are, how they need to be, addressed, either if that's planning, training, funding for equipment, all of those things. And a lot of those investments have been made. And I think that, you see a clear result. But I think a big part of it is, if you do it a lot, you're going to get better at it. And so I think that, that's really why a big part of the reason this went very smooth. Thank you.
Thanks.
And this is Christine, Office of Homeless Solutions Director. I can just say for the OHS part, we have said multiple times that the system we have now is the result of many years of planning, at least 2.5. And it has gotten better every single time. And this year, the City Council agreed to put $1 million in funding towards this effort in the general budget. So we are deeply, deeply grateful for their support, which has made the infrastructure that we have possible.
Thanks.
Thank you, Christine. Any additional questions today? All right, we will wrap up. If any media contacts have follow-up questions, you can always reach us directly by emailing media@dallas.gov. Thank you again to all of my colleagues for taking your time today and to all of our media contacts. Stay safe and have a good day. Thank you.